Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining. Today, we have a very important topic to discuss, the trust bank, the trust bank, the trust bank, a super important tool that helps give teams an individual and comprehensive advantage over others that do not have a trust bank. So let's get started. Our human system, which we've touched upon before, is comprised of our strengths and other things. But at the end of the day, if we want to be champions, we have to look at championship behaviors. So the human system isn't what we do, it's how we behave in pursuit of victory. And as you can see, the multiple connections here between people, the stronger those connections they are, the better the team will perform under pressure, and pressure will come. So let's talk about it. The trust bank. Every single thing you do, every action, every decision, every word that comes out of your mouth is either helping the team or it's hurting the team. The trust bank is the accounting of those two things. You're either helping the team, which is an investment in the trust bank, or you're hurting the team, and it's withdrawal from the trust bank. Even things that may not seem like they are trust bank related. Let's say you choose to behave inappropriately outside the house. Maybe you're doing things that hurt others. Maybe you're doing things that are not good for you. Those are withdrawals from the trust bank. When you are doing things that help other people, that encourage other people, that allow others to be at their best, those are deposits. We'll talk more about those in a minute. The most important thing to know about the helping or hurting is there is no neutral act. If you think it's neutral, for example, if I withhold information from somebody else, let's say somebody's trying to improve their shot, and I don't help them, even though I can see what they're doing wrong, that's not neutral. That is a withdrawal from the trust bank because you're hurting the team by not helping them reach their full potential. And we're all in this together to win. So the trust bank is the sum of all the interactions you have with one another, all the choices you make as individuals and as teams, and everybody counts, including coaches. So let's get a little bit more specific. We want lots of money, lots of trust in our bank account. So let's talk about deposits. In general, I think we know what deposits are. Those are people who are kind to you when you're struggling, who encourage you, who lead by example. Go to page 102 in Win Like a Girl book to see a little bit more information about the trust bank. Including in there is a list of examples, but you know what behaviors improve trust. You know people that you go to in times of trouble, and you go to them because you trust them. So what is it about those people that makes you trust them? Those are the behaviors that we know what they are. And at the end of the day, despite the fact that I've given you a list in Win Like a Girl, it's up to you guys to make your own list as well. And you guys know, I know you know. At the end of the day, we must make and celebrate trust deposits every practice and every game. When somebody does something to help the team win, they work harder, they play a position maybe they're not used to. That is a deposit in the trust bank. A great pass is a deposit. So calling them out after every practice and game, and even during, is a good idea. So deposits are the things that help the team win. Withdrawals. Withdrawals are the more challenging aspect of the team trust bank because they're the harder aspects to deal with. But you know what? They're going to happen. And they're going to happen not necessarily out of meanness or being unpleasant, but by raw emotion. You might say something harsh that you regret later or that hurt the person's feelings. So the deal with the trust bank is the withdrawals must be addressed. Again, on page 102, there's some examples But when you think about people that you do not trust or people who have undermined trust, what did they do? What was the behavior? So someone who's selfish, someone who is unkind, those are behaviors that remove trust from the bank account. We want to limit and prevent those. And I frankly have seen teams that never recovered from an early ginormous withdrawal from the Team Trust Bank, and it ruined the season. One example was social media posts that undermined captains, and that team never recovered. And it was a jealous girl, a girl that wasn't chosen as captain. The other thing that happens with withdrawals, and when we address them, is that they then become deposits. So let me give you an example. I worked with a team last week where we talked about the trust bank. I said, how's the trust bank doing? And the team said it was low. I said, well, give me some examples of deposits. They gave me just a couple. I said, well, then let's talk about withdrawals. And there was silence. Nobody wants to talk about withdrawals. But if you don't address withdrawals, they become resentments that fester and they pull the team apart. That's how they destabilize the team. Finally, one of the captains, and I give this person a lot of credit, spoke up and said, I have been really mean to my partner on defense. I'm unhappy, I'm frustrated, we aren't winning, and I take it out on my partner, my defensive partner. So first of all, that takes courage to do that, and I acknowledged it. I said that took courage to speak up. I said, it's definitely a withdrawal from the trust bank. And what do we do when we make a withdrawal? He said, we apologize. I said, exactly. And at that moment, he turned to his defensive partner and said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I've behaved that way. When that happens, that's a deposit. So the hard part is the withdrawal. The easy part are the deposits. Both have to be managed on purpose by everybody on the team. When you do this, it transforms teams, and I've seen it work for years. So each of us must take 100% responsibility for the amount of money in the trust bank, not 50-50, not I'm going to apologize when you apologize. No, I'm going to take 100% responsibility. I'm going to commit to making deposits every day, and I do. And if there is a deposit or withdrawal, I instantly address it. When everybody's responsible, 100% responsible for the balance in the team trust bank, we will never have team problems, because we will only be doing things that help the team win and when they and stay united. And when there are withdrawals, and they will happen, we address them instantly. This is hard. Champions do hard things. But if everybody's committed, we won't have in and out girls groups. We won't have people we speak to and people we don't. We won't have gossip. We won't have behind the back stuff. We'll have upfront, I'm committed to you as my teammate, and I'm committed to making trust bank deposits. The outcome is you have a competitive advantage over other teams, because a team that has poor trust is a divided team. A divided team is a losing team. Teams that have high trust are a winning team because they stay together when the pressure comes, and the pressure will come. And when it does, we want a unified team that overcomes the obstacles that will come. We don't know what they are yet, but they will arrive, and achieve big goals. A boat with people rowing in it is a great analogy, because everybody's rowing in the same direction at the same time with the same work ethic. One person that doesn't do that, the boat goes off. It goes off track. It cannot reach its full potential. This is a great metaphor for having a high trust team. It's a choice. You know the difference between a deposit and withdrawal. It's a choice. So make your own lists, discuss them. When deposits happen, celebrate them. When withdrawals happen, fix them. It's a championship behavior. And I believe in you, and you've got this. So now Just go be brave and awesome.